Welcome back to the MLG Modern Warfare 2 Online Pro Circuit Live. Guys, we just had a huge Game 3 where AOX was finally able to get on the board after dominating that Demolition high-rise game. They did well setting up on defense, and on the flip side on offense, they were able to push through, get both bombs set up, get that spawn trap, and just go ahead and blow away Influence in a 2-0 victory on Game 3 Demolition. Moving on to game number 4, we're going to have to see if Influence is able to capture all the attention, get this game, and move into the championship, or if AOX is going to continue to fight through just like they've done all along in the losers bracket. Astro, who are you looking for in this game number 4 coming up?
Well, they're back on host Influences, so it's going to be interesting to see what Pluto does again. I mean, he's been going off whenever they've had the host advantage, so I really think we should check him out and see how he plays this as they try to close this one out and make another championship appearance.
When they were talking about hosting, this was the first game that they picked as the #1 seed. When they got the option to pick first map to host, they wanted Capture the Flag on Scrapyard. I mean, they were focused on this. So this is definitely a host that they wanted. This is important to them. And like you said, Pluto has been going off on his host, so we can definitely switch it over to him and watch it on the cam. I'm about to jump into the lobby right now here as we kick it off on Capture the Flag Scrapyard. And Hastro, why don't you blow through what Capture the Flag Scrapyard is?
Well, I'm trying to join the game here as well. It seems like they're taking a little bit of time getting that host set up, but Capture the Flag Scrapyard is by far the fastest game type on the MLG Pro Circuit, and this is where you have to be about your wits and make sure that you're on. Every little millisecond in this game type counts. Every little grenade can kind of hit across the map, so you really have to take good routes as an objective player running the flag, and you really got to be heads up as a Slayer and support player.
For some of our audience out there is trying to get some tips from a pro player that's, from Modern Warfare's 2 scene. Tell us a little bit about, white wall and spawn trapping, how important it is on Scrapyard, particularly in Demolition and Capture the Flag where you see here.
Sure, yeah, this is another map where you can kind of sort of set up a spawn trap, but it's much harder to hold than it is on high rise. So what you want to do kind of is take out the entire other team and set up on their spawn, but you got to always remember that the team spawning up is going to kind of come out full force, especially here on a map like high rise or on Scrapyard. So what you do here is basically set up on the crane side if you're spawn trapping on the other team while they're spawning in the office building, and you kind of want to set everybody on a middle map. And on the flip side, you kind of want to set up on the white wall on the ramp where the team is spawning in the warehouse. So it's kind of tough. They're two kind of advantageous positions, and they're really on that one side of the map where the crane and the ramp are. That's kind of where you want to set up to kind of get a successful spawn trap going.
You can rack up some serious kills on that white wall right by ramp if you get
yeah, man. People are spawning right up in front of you, and yeah, it's insane. So this is going to be really fast. It looks like we're all set, ready to go, Fwiz.
Yeah, well, let's kick it off then. Scrapyard, Capture the Flag. I'm ready to watch it. We're going to watch Influence. We're going to put our player camera on Pluto. He's been dominant so far. We're going to have to keep an eye out for AOX, though, because all of a sudden they've turned it on after that Demolition high-rise game. So I think we're going to see a big matchup on our hands here. And it seems to me that Influence is going to be let's see what side they've picked. They're a little stale getting in here right now, so they might have needed a quick break there that we might have missed out on because they did not join the room immediately there. But it looks like when they do get in here, they're going to be TF141, which is our bottom team here. As we are kicking it off, no, we're waiting. We got it all messed up here. That's all right. We're going to have to end the game here, get the side switched up. It looks like the guys from AOX might have been a little confused about which side they were starting on. So let's see what our in-camera guys do here. So while we're getting that map situated and all of that stuff, let's talk a little bit more about Influence and AOX. AOX has been coming up through this losers bracket. They're no stranger to playing with their backs up against the wall. And Influence on the flip side, I've got to give them props tonight as, like we've said earlier in the broadcast, they've bounced back huge this evening. Instead of last week, they were not playing at the caliber level. Xtravagant's been hot, but Influence just was not being influenced last week. And they really turned it around. They put the preparation in this week, and they're coming ready here. And I'm interested to see, do you think they're going to be able to close it out here, Hastro, and advance to the championship?
See, it looks like what happened right there is Influence is looking for as many advantages as they can. And originally they had one player hosting, and it was a nice, clean host that we had for those rounds where Influence was hosting. But now it seems like they wanted to switch hosts here in the middle, maybe possibly to give a worse host. So right now it seems like we're going to make them switch back to that original host that they had. It looks like, these guys are trying to
they try to be
really trying to pull a
sneaky.
fast. They're not, they're trying to be a little sneaky, but that's part of the game. I mean, every little piece of this logistics.
Hey, yeah,
goes
no,
into
I
things. So,
absolutely, but
you know, yeah, and you can't really create lag on purpose for the other team. So
no,
what's
no, but
happening now
sometimes,
is we can
what
switch it up.
players will do is they'll on your team, you'll pick the guy that's a more preferable host for your team rather than the
Exactly.
best host. And it seems like they were just trying to do a switch up there. Fizzerb timed out earlier, so I think he's a little bit worried about his connection. So we're going to switch it over to Pluto's connection. He's going to actually host it up for us this time. Yeah, and again, like that's why I think everything balances out in this game a lot. You have your hosting sides, and you get as a higher seed, you get to pick first, and you'll get 3 maps that you get to host. But I still think picking sides, especially on certain maps, whether it's search and destroy or even demolition, is very advantageous to have the sides, even if you might not have the preferable host.
Yeah, and everybody out there has to understand that there's a lot that goes into being a professional player and competing on the pro circuit. It's not just let's jump into the game and start this thing up and start shooting at each other. There are a lot of decisions to be made. There's a lot of strategy outside of the game, including who's going to host for your team, and what map you're going to pick and what size you're going to pick, and a lot of this stuff goes into it, and you have to realize that as a player out there.
It's absolutely a variable. So we were able to get the host switched back up. Scrapyard capture the flag. We're going to wait for one more player in here. It looks like we got all of influence. We're just waiting for AOX to get in the room. He's in there now, so I think we're good to go. Yeah, all set, ready to roll. So now we are officially kicking off Capture the Flag Scrapyard. Guys, this is Game 4. If you're just tuning in with us right now, the series is at 2-1 with Influence in the lead here. We're playing the best of 5 right here, so first of 3 will win and advance to the championship game. There's a lot on the line here right now, so this is the matchup we expect from both these teams. We're going to switch it off and watch the bottom team, TF 141, which is Influence, and let's kick the player camera off with Pluto. He's been hot so far on both games 1, 2, and 3 even. Well, he struggled a little bit on pretty much all of Influence, struggled on Demolition High Ride, but that all things aside, they've been playing really well tonight.
Yeah, and right now Pluto is coming out with the PP2000. He doesn't even mind his ACR, picks up the kill on Glacier. Influence takes out 3 AOX players right off the bat here. So you see Pluto, he is moving into that crane position just like I said. That's where you want to be, set up the spawn trap, and let everybody else filter out the other side. He picks up the kill on AOX. Sees another AOX player thinking about coming out this side door. I don't think that they're going to come out now. So it looks like Influence did get a nice little setup here to start things off, but AOX is kind of bouncing back. They realize that pretty quickly, and they're looking to kind of take out a couple Influence players before they make a move.
Fizzerb staying back on defense right now. He's got the ACR and an ump as his secondary that he picked up. Pluto's all the way back in the back base trying to set up a little bit of a support role there for Kaz. Kaz gets taken out. Pluto's still alive but gets followed up by AOX, and he takes them out. They try to sit up there and get a flagpole here. AOX, I imagine, is going to play a little bit conservative since we are playing on Influence host. They're going to have to try to play a little bit more of a reserved approach, not letting any of those rally caps that kind of got to them in their Game 1 loss.
Well, right now, AOX has done an amazing job of recovering from that quick spawn trap that Influence had, and right now they have middle map controls. They take out all 4 Influence players, and they have a nice little setup going right now.
Yeah, they do. Sincer got it. He's got the flag right now. He's moving quick.
Yeah, he pulled the flag. Looks like he's kind of stuck in this L plane, though. Brim gets cleaned up by Crocer, and Glacier picks up a kill. Right now, it's just Kaz. He doesn't manage to pick up that kill. Looks like AOX is on the board now.
Let's switch our player camera over to AOX and let's put on Sincer, man, because he's got hot feet right now. He's moving across the map. He's got marathon stopping power, and he's pretty much been laying out every cat that's trying to get in his way. He's setting over by Red, going to try to move in by Crane here, or I'm sorry, by the forklift. Set up in a position that hopefully no one's on white wall, or it's going to be dismal for Influence. I'm not sure if somebody is. Yes, Xtravagant is on white wall, and Crocer's got the flag. Guys, this is what Hastro was talking about when he was giving you those pro tips free for tuning in, is setting up on white wall, setting up on forklift, and this is how you pull flags, guys, as AOX takes a 2-0 lead. And they are on fire, just running flags back and forth as Glacer's now got another flag. Crocer's going to move up in a position to wait for the next rally cap, and they're going to try to rally a couple off on Influence and keep them pinned in here. This is what I'm talking about, guys. You can beat teams that are even better than you, that play on a higher caliber level of you, if you are able to understand spawn traps and set up on these walls here, as Crocer's about to come in and probably get a 2-piece here by the forklift, laying down kills, and he's almost a 3-piece, but Sincer picked it up. And these guys are moving fast. Now is AOX running up the middle, taking a 3-0 lead, and they have been dominating this spawn setup right now as people are just dropping Sincer with a 3-piece on Pluto, and Fizz.
Yeah, no, right now it looks like Influence is really going to have to pick it up and get out of this spawn trap. And AOX is doing this by textbook, like clockwork right now.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good.
This is when you play on the competitive scene and you're familiar with the MLG maps and game modes. This is something you need to be practicing every time you are on Capture the Flag or Demolition on this map on Scrapyard. Influence looks to see that they finally were able to get out of that spawn trap setup, but not after AOX was able to get a 3-0 lead with 1.5 minutes left on the clock. I can imagine when we switch sides, we're going to see a very heavy defensive approach by AOX as Crosser's moving through blue. Did an interesting route there instead of running it straight through. Almost got another flag cap there, and it looks like they were able to return that flag.
Yeah, and AOX right now is kind of pushed back a little bit, so let's see if Influence can get a flag grab. They have 1 minute and 6 seconds before we switch sides for the second round. And right now, it looks like AOX is still doing a great job of holding down the middle of the map. They're pushing back through, and they have a 3-0 lead. They're going to kind of slow things down here in the last minute of the game, of the round, excuse me. But yeah, they're doing a great job, AOX right now.
Absolutely, they're doing all the right things. It's like you said, I mean, they're surgical with their setup right now, and they have set back a little bit to play that defensive approach because they did lose that spawn setup that they had, but they held it for a while. They gave them that 3-0 lead here. 30 seconds left on the clock. I don't know if they're going to push one more. Clayster's got the flag. He's back at base. If Sinster's going to able to hold him off, but nice nade by Pluto. Gets him with the Semtex there. 15 seconds or so left on the clock, 20 seconds left. They still got flag there. As you see, all of a sudden, Crosser comes up and takes it with a 4-0 lead. AOX is back in the game after being down in the series 2-0. They bounced back, won the game 3, and now they are dominating here. Game number 4, Capture the Flag High Rise over Influence, and Influence is a little too late in this round as they try to get out of there. And as we switch sides, 4-0 in favor of AOX, Hastro. What do you think of that?
Well, this is going to take everything that Influence has to come back in this game right now, and AOX is just doing an amazing job of, you know, having their backs against the wall, being down 2-0. They came back last round, picked up a win in High Rise Demo, and here on Scrapyard, Capture the Flag. They're dominating, like we said. I mean, there's no other word for it but dominating. I mean, look at the scoreboard right now. Crosser is 14-8, Sinster 20-10, Placer coming in 11-10. He has a flag cap. He's on the board, and AOX is coming in at 16-8. Their entire team is almost double positive.
Someone lit a fire under AOX here after game number 2, and these guys have bounced back in a big way here. And I thought, you know, all right, they got this 4-0 lead. They're going to play mildly conservative, mainly push one person on offense. And these guys come out the gate pushing, you know, they're ready to roll now. So we're seeing a whole different style of play from AOX than we did see in the first 2 games here. As AOX moving in on the front, Crosser's setting up, trying to take out anybody that tries to set up on white wall. That's a good spot to stay in. And Clayster, we're going to see try to take that conservative approach, but moving in here on the side, outside of white wall, right outside of L plane, looking around at the crane and see what he's able to pull off here in a minute.
Yeah, and they're still playing somewhat defensively. They really don't need to push too much and get any more flag caps. At the 4-0 lead, they can really buckle down here, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're playing this extremely smart, and yeah, I like what I'm seeing here out of AOX. They're doing a great job.
They're keeping. I like that they're keeping people off of the spawn traps. You just saw AOX take out somebody out of the forklift. You saw earlier Crosser and Clayster keeping an eye out on white wall ramp, making sure that people Influence don't do what they did to them last round here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of prize money on the line right now, especially, you know, between 2nd and 3rd place. Right now, the loser of this will take 3rd place, and the winner will move on to playing the championship match against Xtravagant. And when there's money on the line and you have a 4-0 lead and capture the flag, you probably want to just buckle down, like I said, and hang out and make sure the other team doesn't pick up 4 flag caps in 3 minutes. So right now, it looks like AOX is still trying to be a little entertaining as they grab the flag. Yeah. Sinster here is in blue, and they are really just trying to pour it on and demoralize Influence right now before they have to go into a map 5 if that's the case.
Smart tactic. Yeah, smart tactic. There's no reason to take the foot off the gas at any means right here. They had, I'm sure they were very upset with their first 2 losses here, and they're trying to rebuttal what happened to them in those first 2 games here and not let off at all here, as it's a 4-0 lead right now for AOX with 2 minutes and 27 seconds left on the clock. Influence is going to have to step it up if they try to get some rally caps here or something. AOX is just continuing to be dominant, and they are playing for, outside of money, they're playing for the pro circuit points, they're playing for the status, the MLG Crown Championship. There's a lot on the line with pride and bragging rights outside of the monetary value, as these guys are just 2 forces to be reckoned with. teeing off as Clayster goes with the 3-piece, taking out Influence.
Yeah, and you know, Crowster too has really picked it up. You know, they had that one round on Invasion Capture the Flag where he was, you know, 6-22, and right now he's coming in at 20-13. He's leading all scorers in the game right now with 1,980 points. So he is doing his job now. He's warmed up, and it seems like he's
the captain has finally turned it around for his team.
Yeah, definitely. I want to give him a shout out right there because I kind of dogged him a little bit for hurting his team in that Invasion Capture the Flag, but he's doing everything right now. So kudos to him.
I think he's one of those guys that would certainly be able to admit with his shortcomings and downfalls. And I think he recognized that in game 1, and he was able to step it up, and he's been just playing out of his skin. All of AOX has. They want to get to this championship. On an interesting side, on the 360 side of things, we've got Xtravagant and AOX teeing off in the championship. So I mean, they want to get in there. They want to play Xtravagant. They want to go against these. There's a lot of animosity between those two teams, and you know, they're not giving up yet.
Yeah, and just remember, guys, you're watching the MLG Modern Warfare 2 Pro Circuit presented by PlayStation. We have AOX and Influence going at it. They're the #1 and #2 seeds coming into this playoff season. So right now they are playing for a chance to play in the championship match. The loser will be going home in 3rd place, but they're still going to be taking prize money. And right now it looks like AOX is going to take this round. They have 30 seconds left on the clock. They have a 4-0 lead.
Crowster's just going to cap one right here, just to kind of put salt on the open wound here. With 27 seconds left, they're going to go 5-0 on, and this was not AOX's host, so this was not an easy one for them to overcome. So guys, we are about to go to a Game 5 matchup, the first Game 5 we've seen on the Online Pro Circuit #2 playoffs. I am pumped, and that's exactly what I expected from these two caliber teams. Astro, as soon as we're done here with this game, break down the scoreboard for us and tell us who the difference makers were on game #4, Capture the Flag, Scrapyard.
Well, looks like AOX again. They're coming up huge all the way across the scoreboard. Crowster picked it up after that dismal performance on map 1 on Invasion CTF. He came in with the high score, led everybody in the game. He's 24-16. Looks like Sinster had the most kills in the game. He's at 28-21. And on the other side, looks like Pluto is still the man for Influence, but just not enough as they lose that round 5-0.
Huge matchup, guys. Do not go anywhere. We've got a big game #5 coming up. You are watching the Modern Warfare 2 Online Pro Circuit Live. Like Hasher said, presented by Sony PlayStation 3. Do not miss out on our #1, #2 seed, and we'll find out who is going to move on to the championship after this quick commercial break.